And we are live. This is episode number 8 of Savages in the Bronx, live from Studio 54 in New Jersey and REM Studio in Staten Island, New York, airing exclusively on Twitch and powered by StreamYard. And welcome back to the show on this Monday, May the 3rd, 2021. I am your host, Rivera. And as always, I'm being joined by a guy who just went to his first Yankee game in 2 years.
Ever.
Tom Wospil.
No, not ever. Yes. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing good, man. Probably not as good as you. You're coming off a nice 2-0 boring Yankee win. Corey Kluber, 10 strikeouts. Very nice performance for him.
It was the most boring baseball game you probably ever could see. Yankees didn't have a hit after the second inning. They only had 3 hits. Tigers had 2. I think the Tigers had 1 in the 3rd and then 1 in I want to say the 5th or 6th. And that was it. And it wasn't even, there was no big plays. It was just a bunch of strikeouts and ground outs, weak contact. It was awesome to see Kluber pitch so well. 8 innings, 10 Ks. I think he walked at least 1. I don't know if he walked 2. I know he walked. I remember him walking Ramos thinking there goes a perfect game. And then he gave up a hit, and then that was basically it. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to get back to the stadium. The protocols I thought were really smart. You had to either show a negative test within 72 hours or have your vaccine card or a picture of your vaccine card with your ID. They did temperature checks. And then the big thing is see everyone see it, the seats. If no one by you, which honestly is amazing. Just not be knee to knee with someone the entire game and have to get up 1,000 times as people are coming in and out of your seat. I don't think we ever had to do that. That was cool. Ushers were really on top of the mask thing. You have the mask down when you were eating or drinking, and if you tried to sneak a little bit extra maskless time, they were coming around and telling people. So
damn,
it was a good experience. Probably only half the concession stands were open, but considering it's at 33% capacity, just to give you an idea of what that's even like, in the 8th inning, it was hot. It was getting hot at the end of that game. It was probably in the mid to upper 70s. And that's pretty high at this time of year, for at least for us in New York, New Jersey.
Definitely.
And I went to go get ice cream, and I'm like, I'm gonna get some ice cream because I'm at a baseball game. I wanted a little cup, a little
big
spoon.
Boy.
Oh yeah,
Carvel. Hell yeah.
And the line for ice cream normally in that situation, it would probably last the whole inning, right? This was a line of 5 people. So it was,
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was real quick to get everything. Great experience. I think they did a great job, and I know they're gonna be opening up to more people as we move forward here.
Yeah, almost in the near future. I mean, in New York, it's kind of getting crazy because they're talking about possibly 100% with restrictions across the board for everything starting in July, which is nuts. I mean, that's a whole other topic, all other conversation. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to keep it to baseball. That's awesome. Sick invite, by the way. Really appreciate you throwing it out to me and, going to the game together. That'd be, fantastic. But no,
I thought about it, and then I quickly decided I wanted to enjoy myself. So I didn't invite you.
So, Yankee baseball, you got to win. It was a boring one at that. I also will keep notes, though, because I am going to a game in a few weeks. The Yankees are going to be playing the White Sox in 3 weeks. So I'll be going to that game. So that'll be my first Yankee game in 2 years as well. So really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to having a row to myself. And, very short concession stands and all that good stuff.
No draft beer, which was kind of weird. I thought I don't know why they couldn't
draft beer.
No draft beer, only canned beer, which I thought was a little weird.
Weird.
I guess one less thing to touch. I don't know, but
weird.
I thought it was odd.
Riff 0302 in the chat asks, "Is Cy Kluber back?" I don't know about Cy Kluber's back, but it seems like the Yankees bats are back. Ever since we shitted on this team 2 weeks ago, Tom, they've turned the tide. And listen, you can go ahead and say, well, they played the Indians, they played the Orioles.
I hear Boone played that conversation for the team, and I heard Judge got up and said, this enough is enough. We gotta show out for the boys here. So I imagine in the World Series presentation trophy, they're gonna be, listen, I want to thank the Savages in the Bronx for really kicking us in the ass and saying step it up.
If we pull this off in 2021, I probably shouldn't say if on a Yankee show. When we pull this off in 2021, there better be 2 rings coming to fucking Tom and Rich's way.
Absolutely.
Of
I want a
Savages.
real one. I don't want one of those like ones that they give to like, the front office or like the ticket guy.
Yeah.
I want a
Fuck that.
real big Stanton looking ring.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree. If this team goes on a run now, ever since we ranted and raved about them on 9 Up, 9 Down 2 weeks ago, absolutely. I want credit for that. The Bronx is not really burning, but we do have some news pieces to talk about. We have another injury, unfortunately, to the Bombers. Darren O'Day placed on the 10-day IL with a right rotator cuff strain. Michael King, of course, was recalled as his replacement on the roster. A guy who I think unceremoniously, if you will, was sent down to the alternate site. He's been doing so well. But Darren O'Day, who is in fucking year 30 of his career. Yep, he's hurt. And now Michael King's back up.
He looks like he's on year 50 of his career. But no, it's, stinks again. Stinks for O'Day. Hopefully he's back sooner than later. King really, he never did anything deserved to be sent down. I know I've listened to Cohn a lot on the game saying that it's just kind of unfair to King what he's pitched like 11 innings this year, like with like 2 hits, like no runs. It's something along those lines. I don't have it in front of me. He's been a really good. Said nothing to get sent down other than the fact that he has options and other guys don't have options, which I don't know. I think baseball needs to find out like a better system for that. It just seems ridiculous of like that's how if they're doing it within the rules and every team does it. So I don't think the Yankees are doing anything unfair, but it's just like it's unfair. The system's unfair to guys like King who are just getting outs like time after time and like, well,
oh yeah,
because you have an option. And Justin Wilson doesn't, like, you need to go down. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't sit right with me.
Being a baseball reliever is like one of the more thankless jobs across the league because despite how good you can be, like, they don't care. It's like, all right, well, I can find the guy who could do this cheaper and with more options that can get me 3 outs. Like, it is really a thankless job. And you see how many, like, free agents would still be on the market after, like, a good season. Like, you see, like, guys that had sub-3 ERAs that should get a job somewhere and they're still out there. Michael King's done a great job in the 3 games he pitched. Hasn't given up a run. 11 innings pitched and he's got
11 innings. Oh, I drilled that.
Yeah, 11 innings pitched. Look at you, Tom Wospil, ever the Yankee fan. But Darren O'Day even also good start on year 77 of his career. 3.00 ERA in 9 innings pitched. So yes, hopefully Darren O'Day comes back stronger. But obviously it's a little tough when you're an older guy for a strain like of that degree. But hoping the best for Darren O'Day. This is kind of old. Mike Tauchman traded out to San Francisco for Wandy Peralta, who is a left-handed reliever, veteran lefty reliever at that. Tauchman's a guy that Tom and I have had the highest praise for ever since he started this show. And when the news piece hit, I felt my eyes starting to water. Michael Tauchman, man, an unfortunate loss, but he had no room on this team, which was terrible. But he had no room on this team, and hopefully he kills it in San Francisco. Simple as that.
Yeah, sometimes you love something, you gotta let it go, and there was no room for Mike and this team. With the way our outfield is set up, with the fact that Stanton either can or can't play the field, so he just has to DH every game. There's nowhere for him to go. He hit a home run over the weekend, I saw. So that's awesome for Tauchman. I hope he gets plenty of play out there. Yeah, he did. He hit one in San Diego. They were. I want to say. Looks like
he did. Look at this guy.
Yeah,
313 batting average to start, and he's been playing.
Yeah, he should play. We hope that we hope he does well, and can really just find a home where he's gonna a loving home where he's gonna get the attention that he deserves.
Pouring out for Mike Talk. No, I'm not gonna do that. Not over the company keyboard. Yes, Mike Tauchman, hoping the best for that guy, and it's a good spot for him in San Francisco. And hopefully he puts a few out in McCovey Cove over at AT&T Park. That would be great. Our last piece, more of a note than anything, not really a talking thing, but Somerset Patriots are opening their season tomorrow. We had a great time with Mark Schwartz on the show last week talking about the Pats and their move from indie ball to AA ball. We had such a great discussion with him, which you also can check out on our YouTube page, Savages in the Bronx. I thought it was like one of our strongest shows that we've done so far in this early season of Savages. But Somerset opening up their season tomorrow as the official AA affiliate of the Yankees, and a familiar face joining them off the bat, Luke Voigt at first base.
Yeah, I'm almost like tempted to try to go this week. I don't know what the ticket situation is. I don't know if Mark could hook us up, but it's cool if you've never been to a minor league game where someone's rehabbing. It's you get crazy close to the players. You could hear them talking pregame and doing all that kind of stuff. It's different than even going to a major league game, one, because to be honest, none of us could afford to sit that close. But even if you sit that close in Yankee Stadium, you're still far away. You're in Somerset and you're like behind the dugout. You can probably get that ticket for $15-$20. You are right there with Luke Voigt the whole time. So
yeah, absolutely. And I wish I still had my pull from years ago of working with the Pats, but I just remember like when I was doing on-field work, just being literally it's in my role. So on the field, I'm standing right next to the dugout and seeing some former big leaguers, obviously when the Pats were an indie team, seeing guys like Jerome Williams in the dugout hanging out, a guy like Brian LaHare in the dugout, just chilling. Andy Chavez, who is one of my favorite guys that I ever met while doing my work with the Pats. But now you're seeing the future of the Yankees and guys that are rehabbing. And on top of it, to what Mark's point was last week, the opposing team has their top prospects and their rehab assignment guys as well. So it's crazy to think that little ballpark in Bridgewater, the jewel of the Atlantic League, now of the AA League, whatever they call it, the Eastern League, right? The Eastern League, jewel of the Eastern League. I like the sound of that. TD Bank Ballpark. To see those guys now at that field, across from that target, incredible.
So fun aside story to that real quick for like 30 seconds. I went to I lived down by born in Trenton, lived down there like for most of my life. Went to a Trenton Thunder game when I was 9-10 years old. They were playing the New Britain Rockcats, which are the affiliate of the Twins. And I remember I was there with my uncle, and he said, like, that's the number one prospect in baseball down there. You should go get his autograph. I was like, I don't want to go down there and get Joe Mauer's autograph. Oops. I've learned since then.
Yeah, you just got
those are the kind of guys you're going to see. You're going to see the future stars in AA, or if you're out, there's a AAA park by you or single A. You're going to see some real stars coming through. So support the minor league baseball.
Support minor league baseball. This is a good note from your boys who represented the Trenton Thunder and the Somerset Patriots. But definitely go support your minor league teams. Fun environment all around. But hey, I actually have another thing you can support. Sincerely Alley Studio. Since 2020, Sincerely Alley has been customizing scented candles, wine glasses, coffee mugs, and much, much more. Over the last week, we just talked about it before, Tom, watching the Yankees doing their thing. Like I had to watch it with, a lit candle in the room, not unattended. Obviously, I didn't want the house to burn down, but I was watching the candle, but I was watching the game. And one of those candles being called the Champagne Kisses. Real cool, because I would love to see nothing more than the Yankees popping champagne bottles at the end of the season when they win the World Series this year. But
put a big fat champagne kiss on Aaron Judge's face if that was the case.
Yeah, we love it. We want to see it. But yes, champagne kisses, all those great stuff. All the products are just adorably named and greatly put together. So go follow at sincerely.alley on Instagram and visit her Etsy website at Sincerely Alley Studio. Again, Instagram at sincerely.alley. That's with 2 E's. All things for your self-care needs. Sincerely Alley. All right. So, yeah, support minor league baseball, support Sincerely Alley and her Etsy page. But let's get back into it. We're going to talk about Yankee retired numbers, which is. Now, this is fun because, like, every other week, obviously, we try to have a guest on the show. So in the weeks that it's just me and you, we have the opportunity to talk over the team's performance or maybe something that's relevant to this organization. And one thing I've always wanted to kind of talk about was the Yankee retired numbers, as in who deserves to have their number retired, whose retired number should be unretired. Hey, hell, there are some numbers that aren't even retired that people
are retired.
It's wild. So let's talk about it. I mean, I don't even know how we want to start this. We can just go through.
I think we just go down the line numerically.
Let's go numerically. All right. So we'll start it off at number 1, Billy Martin.
I mean, absolutely. He was a very good player for the Yankees. Managed them through the 70s and the 80s until his untimely passing. He was definitely a heart and soul of the team. Definitely someone who meant a lot to that generation of Yankee fans. I think he should have his number retired.
Hell no. And
no. Wow.
Absolutely not. I don't think a manager should have their number retired in baseball. That's just me. That's just like my thing. I don't like accomplishments and all that. Great. You won our World Series. I don't think you get your number retired in baseball, though, as a manager. I actually don't even, I'll even go one step further. I don't even think managers and coaches should even have a number. I think they should just.
I can kind of, that. You know what the funny thing about that is? Like, I've actually had that thought this weekend when we were talking about the retired numbers. I was like, yeah, why do like managers even have it? It is kind of silly that they have numbers. I mean, granted, Billy Martin's career with the Yankees as a player was nothing unbelievable. Not numbers that you would say would warrant a retired number. He made one All-Star
Absolutely
team.
not.
But I think when you put it with just what he made, I think he's the poster child for what he meant to the team as like a heart and soul kind of guy. I think Billy Martin deserves to have that number retired.
Now, of course, I'm looking in the chat. So if you guys feel otherwise, or you feel like there's numbers that should be unretired or numbers that should be retired that haven't been retired, I'm looking at the chat for your feedback as well. I think we can easily go through 2 through 5 and say yes, because Derek Jeter, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio all deserve to have their number retired. I don't.
You're going to say Torrey no, I guess.
I'm going to say Torrey no because of what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's your stance, that's your stance. But I mean, he helped put that all together for the 90s. The reason,
and granted, this is not me saying like I'm not diminishing any of their accomplishments as managers. These guys were fantastic managers. They deserve all the praise. Except for the fact that I don't think their numbers should be retired. I just don't think it. I think that accomplishment needs to be reserved for just players alone. So I would definitely unretire Billy Martin. I would unretire Joe Torre and Casey Stengel, 37 as well. Would unretire that as well. But we'll get there. Number 7, Mickey Mantle. Obviously, we're keeping that.
Obviously.
Number 8, Yogi Berra / Bill Dickey. We're keeping that.
Yes.
Number 9, Roger Maris.
I mean, I'm assuming you've paused because you want to unretire someone's number who won 2 MVPs with the Yankees, including breaking Babe Ruth's single-season home run record. You want to unretire 9.
Unretire Roger Maris's number. Roger Maris does not deserve to have his number. He was actually, and looking at this list, he was the first guy I was like, he shouldn't have his number retired. He should have never had his number retired as a Yankee.
Listen, he played 7 seasons with the Yankees, won 2 MVPs, and broke the home run record.
He also started his career in Cleveland and ended his career in St. Louis. He wasn't a Yankee to me. He wasn't a Yankee.
If you ask any baseball player,
obviously the most significant of his career, he was a Yankee. But guy does not deserve to have his number retired. He played with 4 different teams. And I just don't see this guy as, all right, 2-time MVP, 1960-61. You're saying that we were tying his number because of 2 seasons?
I mean, he won 2 MVPs. How many of the Yankees have won 2 MVPs? There's someone else whose number's not retired who we could talk about. But
M took 45 says retire Giambi, which obviously is complete farce.
Love the Giambi now. We're
not retiring Jason Giambi's number. Well, Gleyber Torres currently wears that number.
A lot of people have worn 25. I have in the closet here, I think I have a 25 that I'm pretty sure was actually originally purchased as a Jason Giambi jersey back in 2004.
Here's a good one. Number 10, Phil Rizzuto.
That's another one. I guess you're gonna say no to the scooter.
No, I actually am keeping the scooter.
Okay, no, I'm in on the Phil Rizzuto.
All right, I need to build a little suspense because these guys, I feel like these guys coming up aren't like fully guaranteed.
No.
What? What'd you say?
Billy Madison.
Oh, Billy Madison, Rurudo,
no,
right.
Those are Z's.
Those are Z's.
No, I mean, like, Phil Rizzuto, another guy, he won an MVP with the Yankees, which I guess apparently means nothing to you, even though he did play his whole career there. You're insane for saying that.
It means nothing.
Another heart and soul kind of guy, a guy who had part of his career cut short due to military service, 3 seasons.
Gotta love that.
And then I think part of the reason, actually, I have to see when his number was retired, but I don't think you can discount what he meant to the team as a broadcaster. I think that's important. And I think that plays into being a Yankee and having that number retired.
I agree. I think overall, it's great. JR Pug says Yankees have too many retired numbers. They should unretire numbers. And I fucking agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And that's why we're having this conversation.
I can get on board with some of them. We haven't gotten there yet, but
number
I can get
15,
on board with some of them.
Thurman Munson. Tread lightly.
I mean, absolutely. His number should stay retired. He was captain of the team. He didn't, he had another untimely passing. You got to keep 15 retired.
Yes, I agree. I think I'll go back to back here. I'll keep Munson. I'll keep Ford at number 16 as well.
Chairman of the board. Got to keep him retired.
Yes. Greatest Yankee starting pitcher of all time.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of an argument about that in a little bit, but I do think he is the greatest Yankee starting pitcher of all time. Correct.
Yes. Number 20, Jorge Posada.
I would not have Jorge Posada's number retired. I think he was a great Yankee. I love what he was able to. He meant for the team, part of the core four. He was. I don't know. I don't think he got to that level. I think there's certain generational people that are now great. The Yankees in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, they had a bunch of generational guys. They're all on the same team. But I think once you get past there, you can't have, those teams didn't have 4 or 5 guys, I think, who would require that. I think part of having your number retired, not the only reason, is you should probably be a Hall of Famer. Jorge Posada's not a Hall of Famer. So,
Posada was the one. Posada was the one I was so back and forth on up until the last minute of the show. And yet, I agree with you. I think that number should be unretired. And the one thing that was holding me up there is like, all right, the longevity, being with the team the whole time, won 5 World Series. And then I was like, well, justifiably, does Bernie Williams deserve to have his number retired? And I said yes, because his numbers are just overall better. I'm sticking with Jorge Posada's number being unretired. Also looking at the chat because we got a lot of activity happening right now. JR Pugs, Joe Puglisi, guest of Leading Off that we'll eventually have on this show, even though he's not a Yankee fan. Billy Martin was fired 7 times, shouldn't be retired. Reggie Jackson shouldn't be retired, played 4 seasons with the Yankees. We'll get to Reggie in a little bit.
And I think the Billy and Steinbrenner he was also hired 8 times or whatever. Right. So, that relationship, I mean, if you haven't watched like the Yankeeography on Billy Martin, just like the craziness that happened between him and George is insane. And yes. I also, he had again an untimely passing. I don't remember exactly what his number was retired. I don't know if it was after that, but that does usually play into that kind of decision. So.
Any other franchise, Posada would be retired. He looks pedestrian next to Yogi and others. I guess others as in Bill Dickey and Thurman Munson and Elson Howard, who's coming up. Don Mattingly at 23, I'm keeping.
Yep, absolutely.
Elson Howard at 32. I'm also
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, I'm also keeping very underrated career for Elson Howard.
Yeah.
Again, back to my manager.
This is a very important Yankee too. So
yes, extremely important. First African
American
American
color barrier on the for the Yankees. So
correct.
Should be honored.
37 Casey Stengel, which I had unretired.
You could unretire. See, and I'll be honest. See, when you talk about Billy Martin and Joe Torre, it's like okay, Casey Stengel 37. No one wants to wear 37 anyway, so I don't know why you even care.
Yeah, fuck 37. 42. Oh, so we're unretiring 42. No, I'm kidding. Of course not. 42, Mariano, Jackie Robinson stays. Here we go. Here's the good ones. Number 44, Reggie Jackson.
I would not have his number retired. He played 5 seasons. He played 5 seasons with the Yankees. If we go by my MVP standards, he didn't win an MVP. Now he was the straw that stirred the drink. He was in that mixture with Billy Martin and Thurman Munson and George and Gator, who we'll get to in a little bit.
Elson Howard was the bench coach.
Elson Howard was the bench coach. He played a very important role in a time in Yankee history that a lot of people don't always remember, like they were very good, obviously in the 20s, Murderers Row, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and then late 60s, early 70s, they were bad. And he was one of the reasons they came back and, won those 2 World Series, had the 3 home run game in the World Series against the Dodgers. Iconic moment, but 5 seasons with the team, I don't think that warrants a number being retired.
I agree. And it seems like everybody in the chat does as well. Matt Tucker, unretire Reggie. Yes, absolutely. And again, just kind of going back to like what I was saying about, who the fuck was I saying it about? I lost my thought. I lost who I was talking about. Maris, right. Played right. He played with other teams. I feel like this should be reserved for guys who started and ended his career as a Yankee, except for Yogi Berra, because that was bullshit.
If we go by that, then Babe Ruth's number shouldn't be retired.
Right.
So, I think that's a slippery slope to get down. I think you compare Maris to comparing Maris to Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie career-wise is like I feel like across his career, he's known as an Oakland A. 10 years with the team. Did most of his damage with Oakland. To me, Reggie is an Oakland A.
I think so too. And also, we're not going to keep going back to him. But this last thing, a point I'll make: the fact that Roger Maris is in the Hall of Fame, I think is kind of criminal.
The fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame is criminal.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Is it because of the 2 seasons, Tom?
He won 2 MVPs and set the home run record.
Fucking matters, dude.
Yes, it does. That matters.
Fucking matters.
Should be in the Hall of Fame. Get out of your mind. All right, next. Andy Pettitte.
175 fucking home runs. Yeah, Hall of Fame. That's good. That's real good.
Sandy Koufax had a good 6-year, 7-year stretch and was not very good the rest
Number
of his
46,
career.
Andy Pettitte.
Yes, his number should be retired. He's someone that you might think he should not be, but he holds a lot of Yankee pitching records. Whitey Ford is, I would say, is the greatest Yankee starting pitcher of all time. But Andy Pettitte owns a ton of Yankee records, a ton of postseason records. His number should be retired.
Disagreed. Left for Houston 3-time All-Star in different parts of his career. The fact that he was an All-Star in 2010 is wild. Not an attractive line for his career.
Andy Pettitte, the 3rd highest WAR for a pitcher in Yankee history.
46 as a number stinks to begin with.
3rd most wins of a pitcher in history.
No.
He has, let's see, where else is he's on here? 3rd most innings pitched, most strikeouts. Andy Pettitte has the most strikeouts in Yankee history.
High and dry for Houston with his
He left the team to go home.
Goodbye. You don't
listen. I would on the surface, I would think maybe not. But if you look at what he actually did as a Yankee and his records as a Yankee, his number should absolutely be retired.
Listen, when it comes down to it, Andy Pettitte to me is top 3 Yankee starting pitcher of all time. Should not have his number retired still.
I think if you're a top 3 starting pitcher in a team that's as decorated as the Yankees,
and I told Tom before the show, 7 guys that I had that numbers should be not retired. So the next 2, mathematically speaking, I am keeping. Number 49, Rod and Guidry. Number 51, Bernie Williams.
I'm there with Guidry. Bernie, I could honestly, I could bit of a coin flip Bernie.
Oh shit!
How
do you guys feel about Bernie Williams in the chat? Want to see that? I feel like I feel like he's gonna get wrapped in the Jorge Posada treatment here, and I feel like
I think he's a bit wrapped into that. I think he, like you said before, he had a better career than Jorge Posada. I think he deserves to have his number retired more than Posada does. He was a Yankee longer, right? So he came up in 91, retired in 06. How long did Posada just kick around for at the end there? He was on the 09 team.
2011 was his last year?
2011, but his last, granted. Well, no. Bernie's last year, he played. Bernie's last year.
One was 17, one was 16 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I would take Bernie over Posada, but yeah, I guess.
I'm just saying Bernie because the overall numbers speaks more volumes because the accomplishments are pretty similar. It's just Bernie was the better player.
He is, but this is what I'll say about him. I said the same thing about Posada. They're career Yankees. So it's not like, oh, they didn't play long enough. They're not Hall of Famers.
Gardner's getting his number retired, according to Tom Standards, then.
I don't know. I don't think Gardner's
number 11 getting retired.
No,
I already wrote it down.
Love Brett Gardner. Love Brett Gardner. He should have his number retired.
Those are the numbers that are retired. Some of which, of course, we spoke on that should be unretired, which would be great because the Yankees have, how many was that? 16, I think. Hold on. I gotta get that countdown. Rich, you can do math here.
No, you can't.
Fail. 21 retired numbers.
That's a good number to start with.
And that's like 21 numbers, and that's like accomplishing like 24 different players because some shared numbers. Like that's nuts.
And number 21 is a number I think you were about to just reference.
All right. My thing with 21 is this is the craziest thing. So Paul O'Neill wore 21 as obviously probably the most famous Yankee to wear the number. There's only been one player that wore the number 21 after him was LaTroy Hawkins, veteran reliever. He wore it, I think it was like the 2004 or 2005-ish season. The fans gave him so much shit that he took the number and he's like, all right, I'm not going to wear the number anymore. And he wore number 22. 21 needs to be worn by a current day Yankee. This number should not be retired by the Yankees. Paul O'Neill does not deserve to have his number retired. No, I love Paul O'Neill. I love Paul O'Neill in the yes booth, but
I think Paul O'Neill should have his number retired just for him in the yes booth. Studio 21 should get his number retired. But no, I agree. As a player, he should not have his number retired. I think it takes a special player to take 21, though. I don't think you can give it to a kid. I think you need to give it to a veteran that comes in, like Paul O'Neill when he came in, another fiery guy. I want a guy coming in wearing 21.
Brunette Odor.
Smash. Who's going to? Well, I mean, but Odor has
Derek Dietrich.
They have to hit the baseball. Actually, Paul O'Neill won a batting title. Odor. I don't think he's winning. A strongman competition. I don't know where that came from.
By a guy that people love. So it wouldn't be a bad transition if he changed his number to 21. Like if it was Glaber, I think it'd work. If it was Voit,
I don't think he's fiery enough. I think Voit could do it. You want someone who's going to bring the fire. I'll take Voit wearing 21.
I'll tell you what would be a ballsy move. We fast forward to year 2025, and Jason Dominguez is wearing number 21 in center field for the Yankees.
All right. So, we don't need to put any more pressure on Jason Dominguez. We're going to now give him maybe the most or second most behind Jeter. Love the Yankee of those 90s teams. And I think a lot of people love O'Neill more than Jeter just because of his personality. There's the personality of him. People love him in the booth.
People love O'Neill more than Jeter. I don't know if I've ever heard that take.
I just think he's a more lovable guy. Jeter's he's more fiery. He's breaking into the water coolers. He seems like one of us. Jeter's always, I love Jeter, but Jeter's always seemed like he's someone, on a mountaintop, and I couldn't go near him without being hosed down. Paul O'Neill seems like a guy you could have a beer with. He just seems like he could make a bleacher creature out there. Like you love O'Neill. He's one of us. He's a savage. O'Neill is a savage in the Bronx.
Got to have him on the show, man. That's a guy.
That'd be great. But no, I also think Jason Dominguez.
Somebody should wear your fucking number.
I think Jason, he'd probably be all for it. I think Jason Dominguez should wear number 100 also. Just give him 100. That's what,
at this rate with the Yankee retiring their numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the first guy to wear a 3-digit number. Sure. You also got number 13 floating out there. No one's worn it since A-Rod. I also think 13 should not be retired.
I'm not a bigger A-Rod. No, not finding a bigger A-Rod fan than me. I think, number 13 has a lot of, greatness associated with it. It has a lot of stink on it. I think jumping into 13 would be tough. I think
Tom, you're getting love. You're getting love in the chat right now. You can have a beer with my crazy uncle. He ain't more popular than Jeter. That Paul O'Neill take was wild.
Listen, I'm not saying he's a better Yankee than Derek Jeter. I'm just saying O'Neill was like a heart and soul kind of guy. Like
he was a Met fan. He's giving you shit, man.
He was the fire. He was so fiery. Like it's people love O'Neill. People love O'Neill. is what I'm
CC
saying.
Sabathia, number 52, also has been worn, but it's also been only a couple seasons. That's a tough one, but I also don't think that number should be retired.
No, I don't think it should be retired. I don't think any number should be retired anytime soon. Honestly, I can't think of like someone whose number's not retired that should be. I don't think anyone on the team now is close enough that you even say could be retired.
No, definitely not.
What, maybe in 25 years are we saying
number
the 99 should be retired? But like,
number
no, we're not. No, listen, I like Brett Gardner.
Number 11.
He's not. His number should not be retired. But I don't know I don't know the next Yankees going to get a number retired. Honestly, maybe Garrett Cole at this point. If Garrett Cole does what Garrett Cole does for the next, whatever 9 years we have him, then yeah, you can retire Garrett Cole's number. That's probably the next one.
Joe with another hot take: CC over Andy Pettitte. He's just really pushing it today, man. He's pushing it today. I fucking love it. Love it.
I mean, for a career, yeah. As a Yankee,
Matsui, but Matsui is 55 has been worn multiple times since Matsui's left. Lyle Overbay has worn it. I don't know why I mentioned Lyle Overbay first. Domingo Germán wore it
now, yeah. But I think Russell Martin wore it too, didn't he?
Russell Martin wore it because he wore 55 for his career. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that number definitely.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think he's. I
don't think that was a serious take anyway. All right, you can follow us on Twitter at Savages Bronx. You can follow Tom at
Wospil 54,
and you can follow me at Rich J Rivera. Let's end the show with our fun bit that we've done, and to our sheer embarrassment, because it seems like we have a hard time. Coming up with random Yankees to solve here. So play to be named later, where Tom and I are going to try to stump each other with some hints on a former Yankee player. Hopefully this Yankee player is notable enough so I can guess it correctly and I don't sound like an idiot that doesn't watch this team.
Let's hope. I think it's my turn to go first this time.
Great. Yep.
Yeah, I think you went first last time. Okay. My player was on the 2000 World Series championship New York Yankees. And he was an outfielder.
David Justice.
It's not David Justice.
Okay.
Speaking of the conversation we had before, this man has won an MVP. Not in 2000 with the Yankees, but
Darryl?
Not Darryl.
It's not Darryl.
Not Darryl.
Okay.
This man hit possibly one of the longest home runs I have ever seen in the old Yankee Stadium.
Cecil Fielder.
Not Cecil Fielder. But another big, strong man. Very big and strong. Possibly too big, legally.
Jose Canseco.
Jose Canseco.
He was relevant in 2000?
He hit a home run like halfway up the upper deck in left field in the old Yankee Stadium.
Wow, look at that! Yeah,
if you watch him, he's so top heavy at that point. He looks like he has like a size 28 waist and like his shoulders are like a size 80. He looks so funny, and he hit an absolute bomb into the upper deck. I saw that video over the weekend. I don't know why the Yankees were showing it, but that's what made me think of him.
Yeah, and I do remember that bomb going to the upper deck, and man, Canseco. And yes, Matt Tucker got it right as well. Jose Canseco there.
Of course, we should have him do this.
Thomas. Here we go with yours, which what the fuck? What happened to it? I don't know what happened to it. I had it before. Here it is. Okay. Our guy for you only played in one season with the Yankees. Okay. It was in the year 2009. Yes. World Series championship Yankees. And he was part of that World Series team officially, not just like handed a ring just for the hell of it. He was part of that World Series run. I could give you more. I obviously have to give you more.
Is it Jerry Hairston Jr.?
It's Jerry Hairston Jr. Holy shit. Holy
yes. I got it.
First
Jerry Hairston Jr.
And I barely gave you
anything. Jr. I was just thinking, I could picture his face, and I was just like, I remember him like, yeah, he was on that team, and like he played like a bit role, but yeah, Jerry Hairston Jr., man.
Damn. I didn't even fucking get into damn, first one off the rip. Good for you, Tom. Jerry Hairston Jr. Love Jerry Hairston on this team. Love the nice guy who can fucking just play everywhere. Veteran presence on the bench. I remember going that 2009 trade deadline. The Yankees didn't make spectacular moves. They made role player moves. Eric Hinsky, Jerry Hairston Jr.
Hip Hinsky.
Two guys to have on the bench for that run. Yeah, man, that's good. Damn, good for you, Tom.
I don't know where that came from. I was just, you said he's on just that team. I know Hairston was on that team.
I was ready. I was gonna be like, he wore number 17. He's played everywhere on the diamond except for like 2 positions. He's had a freaking 16-year career. He's played with
the Orioles for a while, right?
9 different teams. Most significantly with Baltimore. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jerry Hairston Jr. and Jose Canseco. Oh man, that's a squad right there. That's a motley crew of guys to hang out with right there. I love it. All right, that's our show, man. Tom, anybody you want to thank before we send this off?
No.
Okay. Well, I want to thank all of you guys for joining in on the show. I want to thank the very thankless Tom Wospil as well as being a good sport as always. I want to thank my parents for all their love and support. Also, shout out to my mom and all the moms out there. We have Mother's Day coming up on Sunday, so happy Mother's Day to Mom and to all the moms.
I will reiterate that as well. Okay.
There you go. So not anyone. He's going to thank some people. All right. So happy Mother's Day, Mom. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I hope you guys enjoy the weekend. And after that weekend, we'll see you next Monday for another edition of Savages in the Bronx, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch. Take care.